you know where there's a good spot for a random combat encounter in a Dungeons and Dragons game? It's when the characters are traveling, say to a castle or to a town, or there's a distance. So it's like, what are they doing? Not much. Well, now it's like, okay, you want to be inspired by what you see, and you're willing to be random. Be willing to be random on the road, right? Because it can turn into some fun. I'm going to explain to you how you could turn it into some fun. It doesn't take much to have some random ideas that you could just list out or think about, brainstorm about all the different things characters could run into on the road. An abandoned church, an abandoned little graveyard somewhere out in, buried out in the forest or something like that, right? And there's going to be some clues leading to these locations, hints, but there'll be more. First off, you got to tell players that for them to make certain things happen in a more random style, they have to be interactive with the game. So what do I mean? So you want to make sure that they understand their options when they go out on the road. And I don't care if you're doing new D&D or old. They could look for herbs. They could look to hunt, right? I know there could be various rules and stuff like that, but figure it out, right? So, plan for people to have options to do stuff. Now, in the process of them wanting to stop, look around, make dice rolls to see if they find anything, you can every so often sit something random in there. And allow your imagination to run with this a bit. Like, it's whatever inspires you. Sometimes you can avoid a dice roll for randomness. Like, some randomness can be on dice rolls. Some can be, hey, if it's creative enough, just try not to be repetitive with how you keep cycling random ideas in. So it's okay to simply go with your gut. Like, it's, okay, I could see a graveyard there. What would I have? Something undead. Okay, so now you start centering it down. What kind of undead could they run into? Who knows? Right? Could there be an undead with some attitude? He's going to be the guy that inspires all this. Somehow his spirit has awakened himself and others around him, and he's going to rise up with the others to be a formidable enemy, or whatever, right? Either way, that's just random. Like, I'm no plan before coming into this video. I'm just thinking on the spot, and it's that easy. Like, oh, there's a cabin. Oh, what was it? Taken over by some type of thief, right? Or maybe some goblins or gnolls, or maybe, just maybe, somewhere under the cabin there's some big snake creature ready to fucking eat things up like it's a Tremors movie if they get near it. Yeah, you could do the Tremors thing. And you have a whole list of monsters and that to play with, and regular animals. So remember to look at the road like itself like a sort of mini adventure between the adventure. It's almost like when they go on the road, it shouldn't be uneventful. It should be eventful. Like, every journey should be a journey. They go for a walk over to here, what's happening? If you only got a day, well, what happens in a day? As a DM, you should see everything as an opportunity to make things happen. That's it. Like, everything is an opportunity and be an opportunist. Especially when you stop being afraid of random and you even want to lean into it. Some people, they're comfortable with applying the random stuff, random combat encounters. The more confident you are doing that stuff, the more you could just want to walk into it. Like, sure, I'll go random. I don't care. Right? And that's a good confidence to have, because for others, that could be like, no, I don't want to do that. When you want to do stuff like that, the door's open to you. Right? When you're willing to be random on anything, everything is an opportunity now to make something more flavorful happen. And that's sort of like what you're doing. You're bringing more flavor to the game, and you're allowing wild things to happen with the randomness, but it's in an organized situation. Like, the overall thing that you're doing, well, that's pre-planned. But what you want to do is make sure areas where, hey, you haven't put a plan for the entire walk over to here, right? Or this. And maybe you do personally plan, not random, but some purposeful encounters on the path, on the road, because they had to meet this thing to meet the NPC. That's fine, but it's all look at opportunities and never pass them by, because it's just dead. The game is dead when you don't at all cover these areas. Here's another thing you can do with traveling. On top of the hunting, the herbs, the encounters, the random things, you can fill it with, not every night needs to be camp, hang out, talk all night. It doesn't have to be every night. But what you do is, in the midst of all the events, several nights, not every night that they may stop, say on a long journey, yeah, they camp. They have time to talk. They do that. And these principles or ideas can be leaked over to anything, right? They could be traveling on an airship in some other dimension. The point is, when you look at a situation where, say, they're traveling, and you can sort of go, okay, that's sort of like treating it like traveling on the road. Okay, it's at what points are they, on that travel on the airship, might they be sitting down at the table and having some time to talk? And you can separate that out. Either way, the principle of all these things makes the game more alive. More alive. It brings life to the game. And there's so much you can do with randomness. We call it like improvising, like bringing stuff up. That I always tell people, the more you're willing as a game master to just be completely open to actually just comfortable with improvising things in, the more you are comfortable with that, man. It's an empowering thing, because what it does is improvisation, the more you're comfortable with it, the more doors are open. Because you can do something the next game master who has a hard time with it can't. Right? He can organize it, set it up, but if it's random, man, it's going to be some work for him. It's tedious. He's going to be behind. You are comfortable with it, man. It becomes a tool for you, not work. You want that. I'd say any game master, lean into, be willing to look at the game like an opportunity area for random. See, it's like, you might think, well, we need a random encounter to make more encounters happen. That's not always the reason. Like, some things are random just for the point of flavor. And, yeah, sometimes you might pack in a few extra fights. But for flavor, when you give this stuff purpose, no longer do players look at it like, oh, it's a lot extra. Like, they don't even look at it that way. It's just, that was the event by the fucking church thing where they went and dealt with the whatever. Now, what was I talking about when I said camping? Let's get back to that. So, it's a period of time where players can have their characters interact. And I think that's really important, Game Master, because that interaction, that getting to know each other from talking at the end to, you want to do this too, because it focuses conversation and character. It's character building, because it's more time for the characters to say stuff about themselves. And they will at these type of intimate scenes, and they talk to each other. So it's building relationships, character development. That's why these are important. The other thing it does is it makes people simply more comfortable with talking to each other. Why is that important? Well, our players are average people. They're not military people. But what's a great tool for teamwork, even if you're not someone who's a sports person or in that team mindset? What's a good element that can at least cycle you in and make you potentially a good team player? That is clear, comfortable communication. Because when the guy can tell you, get the fuck out of the way, and you don't like react to it emotionally, like it's you don't take it personal at all. You move and your life is saved. That's that comfortable. I can be so forward with you. I can be harsh. I can yell at you to move and you'll move. That type of comfort and interaction without the drama, because you talk to people enough that you understand that guy, the reason why I'm saying that would be peaceful through communication is, as you learn about people, you'll realize that like the player will realize that character's not yelling at the character out of attitude, ego, or hate. It's just get the fuck out of the way. Yeah, okay, I get that. Get the fuck out of the way. You know, there's another thing called common sense, players. Right? There's lots of ways to create advantages, especially with rules to the game, too, that will lean into, hey, if there's an advantage here, there might be a rule to take care of that, but it might not be applied because there might not be acknowledged advantages unless you look for them. What do I mean? Well, if the Game Master's not giving you a lot of detail, you're not sitting there trying to trip the Game Master up. But what you might want to know is, hey, are we on the higher ground here? And purposely look to get on the higher ground. Purposely look to get in position where things are better for you. Like, say, range is there, but you ran up and you said, like, is there like a big rock or something I can get by you? I'm going to duck behind that. Like, what I'm saying is, elements that aren't even being stated you can pry out of the Game Master. Can this element exist? Is there a big rock there? Like a big boulder rock, something like, and clarify. You want to clarify before you get into a situation. But what you're doing is you are developing the scene without the Game Master being bothered by this. Because it's not really you developing. You're advising the Game Master through development. And you're advising the Game Master in favor to your character. There's nothing wrong with this. Game Master's okaying, hey, is there a rock there? Is there a higher ground source, even if my character's not on it? Yes. Is there some trees around me so I can duck behind the tree? Or the guy's coming at me, well, I'm going to start circling the tree to make it hard for him to get to me and hit me. Well, it's not a clear path. Do the rules just apply to the attack? Or is there more minuses now? And by you asking about the elements, trees, rocks, and all this, you can start creating, helping first off advise to develop the environment, and then you use the environment in favor of your character during combat. I mean, it could be simply you using it to take somebody down, not straight out of combat, right? But either way, terrain, situations can help you, right? It's clarification for a lot of things can help. You know, you go around to an area and you're talking to some people, but you might want to clear the air with the Game Master. Is there these type of people around, or is there a guard around this corner? Like, what I mean by these people, is there merchants around here? Is there a guard around the corner? Stuff like that. Some verification. So, say you get into a scene where it could be with somebody rough. Yell for a guard, right? It's small things, but would the Game Master have said there's a guard around the corner if you didn't ask? Like, it's good, and there's nothing wrong. You're not tricking the Game Master, because all you're doing is saying, "Hey, here's a question." You're still leaving it's in the hands of the Game Master, and it's in their authority. So there's nothing you're doing wrong on your end as a player. Authority is to the Game Master. But again, by asking the questions, you influence the development of a scene to put pieces in there that might help you. Here's a good way to constantly stay in character, either through description of the actions of your character or through speaking in character. The easiest way to stay in character and focused on the game, it's the most simple thing. Throughout the game, you're going to be imagining scenes and what's happening. The game is inside of your mind. That's really where the game is happening. The more you stay there, the more you'll be in action. I wouldn't even have to really train you to stay in character. You could be pretty new. It's when you lean outside of your imagination carelessly. Might there be a joke about the gas station? Or something that breaks the flow of the game and the way the people are playing compared to now how you're taking it in as you break away from imagining what's going on. So I say to players, if you want to stay, you know how they keep asking you to stay in character during the game and you hear all this pressure? I'll take all the pressure off you. It's a simple thing. You know, that imagination you run when you're running when you read a book? Well, you're going to hear words and you got to run it during the game. When you're running it, it will simply mean that you're focused on the game. And you will, without even knowing you will stay in character. You will say your actions. You will do that. And only under the influence of other people might you step away from that. If they joke, you might react to them for what they say outside of the game. But if the other players then, play along with this, keep the flow going, you won't even have to think too much. It'd be no work to stay in character from the start of the session until the end. That's it. It's that easy to stay in character. Stay in that imagination zone. And when you lean out of it, understand that's when your mind breaks away from these things. And to every other player, hey, it's this is again breaking out of the imagination. It's when you start thinking about other things that might lead to comments that might break the flow of a gaming session. Now, to some of you out there, this all doesn't matter. I've heard people play in the way they talk. It varies depending, table to table, how nerdy, how not nerdy. I honestly say that you can have fun, joke around, and have a smile and still do it in character. So I'm all about having a good time and speaking pretty freely during a game. But at the same time, I honestly don't see it necessary that you need to just... It's like I see some people that will play it as if it's just some type of board game. Where it's the majority is talking so far out of character that you're no longer even trying to do dialogue. There's no imagination really running. Maybe you're moving miniatures around. Yeah, that can take away from focusing. It's that focus, though, that keeps you in character without you needing to go, oh man, I'm going to have to get good at staying in character. It's not really that you have to get good. You just got to get good at keeping yourself in your imagination, and then you'll stay in character. The imagination is how you focus on the game. That's the secret, right? The imagination is how you focus on the game, because that's the game. Right? The more you're there, the more you just play. Simple. Problem solved. You're in character, start to finish. Anyway, I hope this video helped some tabletop role-playing game people out there. I love you. For now. Be a while. Take care.